So shalom, mishpachah. One thing that I want to visit, how to identify the work of Elijah. Many times I have seen on the throughout the internet, certain particular videos, people do not cover the precepts in the Apocrypha regarding Elijah, right? And I would say the secure way, or one of the better ways of identifying what he will be doing, which is by his work. You'll know them by their fruits, right? It says here in the book of Sirach, the 48th chapter, the 10th verse, who was ordained for reproofs in their times to pacify the wrath of Jehovah's judgment before it break forth into fury, and to turn the heart of the father unto the son. Now that word heart in Hebrew is lab. The connotation for lab means mind. So to turn the heart of the father, to turn the mind of the father unto the son, and to restore the tribes of Jacob. Right? Now when we look at that in Latin and in Greek and in Latin, the word for restore is katastasai. Okay, in Greek. In Latin, it's restituere. Okay, so the verse would read to restore. It says restoration or restitution of tribal lineages to a pre-existing position. So we will be restoring or restituting tribal lineages, in this case, Israelite tribal lineages, to a pre-existing position. Okay. So to turn the mind of the Father unto the Son, well, we know that John the Baptist was tasked with doing that, right? They gave the angel Gabriel, the Malach Gabriel told Elizabeth that that's what John the Baptist would be tasked with doing, right? Turning the mind of the Father to the child. Okay, so here's Luke, the 1st chapter, the 17th verse. And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias to turn again the hearts or minds of the fathers to the children. So John the Baptist will be turning the hearts of the minds of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just. Okay, this is what turning the minds of the fathers to the children would create within the children, right? To turn the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, meaning the wiseness of the fathers, right? The fathers would teach to their children, therefore turning the disobedient children to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for Yahweh, right? Okay, so we know that according to what was said in Malachi, the 4th chapter, the 5th verse, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh, and he shall turn the heart, the mind of the fathers to the children, and the heart, the mind of the children to their fathers. Now we know that according to what we just read in Luke, the 1st chapter, the 17th verse, that John the Baptist turned the minds of the fathers to the children, right? To turn the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for Yahweh. We know that John the Baptist did that. John the Baptist, however, was not tasked with fulfilling of turning, in this case, let's keep reading, the mind or the heart, the mind of the children to their fathers. So John the Baptist wasn't tasked with doing that. Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse, right? Finishing out Malachi 4 and 6. So Elijah, before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, must come again to turn the minds of the children to their fathers. Okay, and that is equivalent to what we just read in Sirach, to that segment of the sentence here that we just read. Turning the mind of the children to their fathers is equivalent to restoring the tribes of Jacob. Because we know that Elijah already came here, as it says here in Sirach, the 48th chapter, the 10th verse, to turn the heart or the mind of the father to the son. Well, we know, again, just like in Malachi, just like in Luke, the 1st chapter, the 17th verse, John the Baptist fulfilled that. Okay, however, as we see, as we live today in this day and age, we know that the tribes of Jacob haven't been restored. We know that. Okay, because we have a people running around now claiming to be so, and they really are not. Okay, so it says in elsewhere in Sirach, I want to say that's the 36th chapter, the 11th verse. Gather all the tribes of Jacob and inherit thou them as from the beginning. Okay, so to match that with what it says in Deuteronomy, a people cannot just be willy-nilly running around saying that they're Israel. The Most High has a true chosen people whose lineage has made it all the way up until this point, present day and age, right? For thou art, Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Eloheka. Yahweh Eloheka has chosen thee to be a special people to himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay, that applies to a specific group of people. How do we determine? We know that according to what it says in Numbers, let us go to Numbers, the 1st chapter, the 18th verse. We know that the Most High determines nationality through the Father. Let us read it. And here it is in the Hebrew. Ve'et kal ha'eda hilu be'echad la'chodaish ha'shayni Wayit yaldu al mishpachotam laibait abotam be'mispar shaimot mibain Isrim shana wa ma'ala lai gugailotam. Okay, the word that I want to focus on is right here. Wayit yaldu. Okay, dealing with DNA, the connotation there, yalad, the root word is yalad, meaning born, birth, right? So it's dealing with seed, okay? Dealing with a patrilineal lineage. Okay, this is your what you would inherit from your father, patrilineally, right? From the father. Okay, so that is one that I want to bring out. I want to visit another one. Here's Nehemiah. So Nehemiah, the 7th chapter, the 61st verse. Okay, so it says, We'ele ha'olim mitel malach, or mitel melach, tel charesha, chayrub adon, we aimer, we lo yaklu, lai hagid, beit abotam, we zaram aim, mi Yisrael haim. Now the word I want to focus on here is yaldu, or zaram, salachi, is zaram, meaning seed. Again, the connotation dealing with DNA, right? You'll also find the same precept in Ezra, the 2nd chapter, the 59th verse. Okay, but again, it deals with seed. And if you're dealing with seed, you're talking about deoxyribonucleic acid, okay? Other words, DNA, okay? So Elijah's task, okay, is to return and to turn the mind of the children to their fathers. It says heart, but we know that word is leib, meaning mind, turn the mind of the children to their fathers, right? To restore the tribes of Jacob. We're talking about, matter of fact, I didn't break what that meant down in Sirach, the 48th chapter, the 10th verse. So let me do that. All right, because the word there, as you will also find in Matthew, the 17th chapter, the 11th verse. In fact, let me go there first before I do that. Matthew 11:17 or 17:11. Okay, it says will restore. Okay, hold on. I think I already had it up. Nope. Okay, so here we go, Matthew 17:11. And Yehoshua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. So that word for will restore is apokatastase in the Greek, meaning will restore, will come and will restore. Apokatastase. So we find the word apokatastase in the Greek in Matthew, the 17th chapter, the 11th verse. We also find katastasai in Sirach in the Greek, as well as in the Latin, it's pronounced restituere, and that, again, that means the restoration or restitution of tribal lineages to a pre-existing position. Okay, so that again, that deals, again, we're talking about something again that leads to what? To DNA. We're talking about something that leads to DNA. So where did I want to go? So when we formulate all of that, we connect it all together. Okay, we're talking about Elijah coming again. Okay, this time coming because he didn't do it when he came as John the Baptist, but coming again and turning the mind of the children to their fathers. Okay, and then restoring the tribes of Jacob, right? By turning the mind of the children to their fathers, restoring the tribes of Jacob. Well, there is a particular group of people on the planet, rather, let me say this, your haplogroup, patrilineal haplogroup, is the same thing as referencing Numbers, the first chapter, the 18th verse. Okay, when we know that dealing with Numbers, the first chapter, the 18th verse, meaning that we declare our pedigrees, we declare our lineages, our patrilineal lineages after our fathers, the house of our fathers. Okay, and so here's what I want to show. Only E1B1A. Okay, because we know that Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary's explanation of Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born 96 years before the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So then who was the progenitor of the Negroes, right? Got to be Shem. Okay, thus, when you descend further down into Jacob, Jacob had to be a Negro. Therefore, his children were Negroes. Okay, it's only logical. So what do we have? Right, and then not all skinfolk are kinfolk. Not all kinfolk are skinfolk. You're gonna have some people who do not look. In fact, the percentage of people who don't appear to be Negro but something else, the percentage is, I want to say 3 out of 10, 30% of people without a Negro phenotype. In this case, you could say Caucasian people. There are a number of Caucasian people who actually have E1B1A as a patrilineal haplogroup. Okay, we have to understand that. And then you have people, like I said, not all skinfolk are kinfolk. Okay, so if you can take someone like Chris Rock, he's a Hamite by the estimate of his haplogroup B. Okay, or I believe he's haplogroup B. You also have Keenan Ivory Wayans, who is haplogroup I. Okay, he's not a patrilineal haplogroup E1B1A. He's patrilineally I. Okay, so again, that would explain, or that is proof where not all skinfolk are kinfolk. But here is, like I said, E1B1A, it accounts for all 13 tribes. Okay, that is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, Dan. Those are 13 tribes right there. 2 come from Joseph. However, here it is. E1B1A and its subclades account for all 13 tribes. Haplotype for Israelite family, unlike any other haplogroup can. Again, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, and Dan. Listen, for more, you can visit videos on my channel and gain more knowledge, more information. It's a lot to fit in just the one video. I want to keep you engaged. I don't want to overload you. My name is Yehoderek Yashar Ben Gad. Okay, I want to say peace and shalom.